Hello all, I am Mithun and welcome back to a brand new video. In the previous videos, we saw how to work with OpenAI, right? And yeah, so it's not just OpenAI in the AI race. So we have one more big player, so that is Google with their Gemini. And in fact, in the present scenario in 2025, Google being Google provides a lot of offerings for free with Gemini. So it is very important for you to know working with Gemini, using it, and especially if you take it to the agentic AI level, right? I bet more on Gemini than OpenAI. So if you are learning, okay. So in this video, so let's get started with how to know and get Gemini API keys. So let's use Gemini SDK and build a chatbot, and then let's use LangChain JS, okay, with Gemini to build a chatbot. And everything will happen in JavaScript in this particular video, and in the next video, so we are going to do the same things with Python. So irrespective of what programming language you are, so you should be getting comfortable and at least getting started using these AI models, because it's high time and everyone should get started. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is that, Mithun, where will I get Gemini API keys? Okay, so again, you should know that whenever you are working with Gemini, so everything happens on Google Cloud. So first you should set up your Google Cloud. Okay, so again, there is no pricings involved, everything is for free, so no need to worry. So just search for Google Cloud Console. Okay, so go to the Cloud Console, log in with your email IDs. So now the first thing you need to do is that you need to create a project. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So you need to create a project. So here I have multiple projects, so you can create a new project as well. It is very much simple. Just give a project name. Okay, so project location, and just create. Okay, remember the name because we are going to use the same name. So since I have many projects, I'm not going to create a new project, but yeah, so I have multiple projects. The first step is to create a project in Google Cloud. Great. Once this is done, just search for Gemini API Gemini API key. And the first link you will get is for the AI Studio, where all of the AI related task happens for Gemini. Okay, again, login. So let me just refresh, or else let me go to get API key. Okay, so here I have multiple API keys, so let me delete this. Okay, so let me delete this. So here you have studio, dashboard, documentation. We'll go to the documentation as well later, but in order to get the API key, so you will just say get API key here, and you need to select create API key and select your project. Okay, I'm going to create this and just create a API key. Okay, with this you have an API key ready. Now I have my code editor ready as well, so where I am going to build a project. We are going to store the keys in our env file, right? So let's just say env key, and let's just say Gemini API key. Again, it is very important. I will show you because each one will follow their own format. Like Google Gemini SDK will follow Gemini API key, LangChain will follow a different format. I will show all of that. No need to worry. So let's paste this again. So if you see, Gemini API key is very much shorter. Okay, again, it is sensitive. Don't try to use my API key because I'm going to delete as soon as this lecture is done. Okay, great. So we have the Gemini API key ready as well. Now if you go to the documentation, okay, so if you go to the documentation, you can see how to use Gemini developer API. Okay, so again, you have Python, JavaScript, Go, Java, everything. Let's start with JavaScript. So you need a package to be installed. Let's install this. Let me open the terminal, and I need two packages, right? I need .env as well, so that I can load the environment variables. I'm going to say Google GenAI and .env. Okay, so on adding this, it doesn't support 23, so let me shift to 20. nvm use 20. Okay, so again, if you're on the latest version of Node, it doesn't work, so it works till 22. So make sure you downgrade it. That's it. Okay, so with this, okay, so we haven't initialized the Node project itself. Yeah, init -1. So let's initialize it and then install. Okay, or else it installs globally. Yeah, so here we have this, and I'm going to say, hey, I need of type module. Great. So now we have the API setup ready, and we have our packages ready as well. So now let me just say Gemini.js. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is that load the env, right? So I'm going to say import everything as .env from .env and just say .env.config. With this, all of the configurations will be loaded. Great. Now go to the Gemini Developer API, just copy paste this. Okay, so what's happening, I will explain you. So here they are importing the Google GenAI and creating the instance of it. Okay, and they are generating the response. They're using model 2.5 Flash and they are passing the content. Here let's just say hi. Okay, and they are logging the response text and calling the function. Great. So now let's run this. So there should be no hiccups. Node Gemini.js, and on doing this, so you will get this: hi there, how can I help you today? It is as simple as it is. Okay, so this is how you work with it. And again, so there is 2.5 Pro, Flash, Flashlight, View 3 for video, image gen, embeddings. Try with as many things as possible, but yeah, so this is the only place you need to just see. Again, see here, if you want to set your API key as environment variable, use Gemini API key. So this is very much important. What key to use? Gemini API key. Okay, great. So now we have successfully got Gemini API keys, use Gemini SDK, and let's use LangChain as well. Again, I told you, right, using LangChain, you get a lot of capabilities. So that's another video altogether. Let's not take it. But in this video, let's just try to use Gemini with LangChain. Okay, so that you get a starting point, and later you can elaborate it, or else we will build a lot of projects on top of it as well. So let's go to LangChain JS. Okay, so since we are using JavaScript, let's go to LangChain JS, and here go to tutorials, get started. So as usual, install these packages. So let me install these packages, the LangChain and the core library, and on top of it we need Google Gemini. Okay, so you can just install this as well. Here comes the twist. See, till now we were using Gemini API key. So this is what Gemini SDK provides. But when you are using LangChain, you need to use Google API key. Okay, so let's duplicate this and say, hey, this is the same Google API key as well. Only the format changes. And let's copy paste this. Let's create a new file. Gemini LangChain.js. Okay, first thing you need to do is that import the envs, right? So let's import that, import the envs, and then copy paste this. Great. Now I should just invoke the model. I'm going to just say const result, const result. I'm going to store the result here, await model dot invoke, and just say hi. Okay, we are not going to do any, you can pass any queries, but yeah, so like let's just say hi, and console console dot log result. Okay, great. So now let's run this. So I'm going to say node Gemini with LangChain.js. Okay, so if you do this, so it will give you a lot of things, and the result lies in the content. Okay, so let me just paste this, and now if I run, you can see you're getting the result properly. Again, for someone who has watched the previous lectures where we have tried with OpenAI, so the only change here is these lines where we have changed the model and imported it. That's it. Rest all remains the same, how to invoke everything. So that is why we use, or companies prefer LangChain, because it provides you a lot of capabilities. This is just one out of it. Okay, so this is how you can create and use Gemini APIs, build a chatbot, both using their SDK, their very own SDK, and using LangChain as well, and everything under 10 lines of code. So this should be a very good entry point for you to work with Gemini APIs. And yeah, so let me know in the comments. So how helpful was this? Give it a like and share with a lot of friends so that they start building AI applications as well. And I will catch you up in the next one. Thank you guys.